Should V8 supercars ditch their Gen 3 model in favour for a Trans Am? Let's talk about that. Hello everyone, I'm Daniel and welcome to Let's Talk Motorsport. We are a podcast news platform that covers all the latest news and gossip in the V8 supercar world and also Formula 1 and whatnot. So be sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you do actually end up enjoying this video. And also let me know your thoughts. Should V8 supercars go simpler to Trans Am? And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Because I've just come back from the Bathurst 6 hour where we saw an incredible 41 Trans Ams on the mountain, which is really unheard of these days, given especially supercars with only 24 car grid size. So it was really, really cool to see so many incredible cars out on track this weekend. And it wasn't just Trans Am, but also Formula RX-8 and Pulsars. They were combined. They had a whopping 45-ish cars. And Bathurst 6 hour itself had 72 entries, which is unreal. And it was really, really cool to see. And it felt really cool, I must admit. Probably better than a supercar event even, in terms of how much variety we had. And the topic of the video today is Trans Am the future of V8 supercars as a whole? And for so long, I've thought of, I was a bit on the fence, maybe, but I definitely don't want them to do what DTM did and go GT3 racing. I don't ever want to see that. I want supercars to keep that V8 formula, the raw formula that they've always been known for, and I think Trans Am probably is the way to go with this. Now, yes, supercars will be going backwards instead of forwards. Because obviously Trans Am is a lot simpler. There's little aero compared to what we got now. H pattern, only 4 speeds. But it's raw, you know. It's just you can there's so many incredible talents, and it will really show and show the world and show Australia who the real driver is, because you can't rely on any of these electronics. Obviously GTs have traction control, ABS, supercars don't, but Trans Am even has barely any more, has less electronics than supercars do. So I think it will be really, really cool to see them go to Trans Am if that was the case. But it's not necessarily just about the cars as well. It also got to talk about the future of the sport and setting a structure where it's where it's affordable for drivers, and it's actually a bigger event and more of a festival for fans. And I think Trans Am is a way to go for this, because this weekend at the 6 hour with 41 cars, you could actually literally touch every single car out in the paddock. And obviously, you don't unless you have balls and you just go for it. But if you're me, you're scared. You could literally go up to the drivers, say g'day to every single one of them. And they were all down to earth, always happy to have a chat. TFH guys, for example, this weekend, they were really, really brilliant to us. Obviously, they were part of the Formula RX-8 series with their drivers, and we're part of the media that weekend, so that was really cool. So we got to know them a lot more, and then we went down the Trans Am paddock, and it really feels like a family, which is cool. But that's a side note. The paddock itself, the vibe there was amazing, and everyone I talked to about this, they agree. They think this is better than supercars. Trans Am is the future, and after this weekend, I really, really do agree. And what I'm saying about why supercars should go to the Trans Am model, for the future of the sport, to build a future for it. Now, obviously, Gen 3 is great, don't get me wrong. I love the Supra that's going to be coming next year, but it's way too expensive. There's so many talented drivers that can no longer get the opportunity to be on the main stage in Australia because they can't afford it. And I don't want to see drivers and their talent get wasted because of that. Seen with Super 2, the fact that Super 3 doesn't exist anymore is a really good example of this. I think a mate of mine that I met at Bathurst this weekend said that Super 2 costs about 80 grand a round, which is just ridiculous. And it should not be the case, especially for a second tier category. Just think of how much a main game round costs. It's ridiculous. And I think it's gotten way too out of hand now, to a point where talented drivers moving up the ranks just don't see supercars as an option anymore, purely because it's just not it's financially just doesn't make sense. So I wish if supercars were to go to the Trans Am model, yes, the cars won't be as good. The lap times might, increase a lot. But the most important thing is you are guaranteed you will have grid sizes. So you'll go from 24 supercars, and if they go to Trans Am, you probably can actually double that. And like we saw on the weekend with 41 Trans Ams, it's actually doable. And I reckon supercars should absolutely do that. Now, the thing is, obviously, we've got the Trans Am and the TA2 series now, and supercars, and obviously supercars don't get along with them. They don't want to be part of them, and for some reason. That might not be true, but that is the vibe that we're getting at the moment, is supercars doesn't want to. They're really, their ego is just skyrocketed, so they really want to be better than them. And I think it can actually hurt the Australian motorsport industry if they keep thinking that way. I think the best way to grow our love for the sport and grow our sport is by just letting go of your ego and join forces to create one gigantic festival of motorsport. And, because we all love it at the end of the day. We're all there to have a great time, and that's what we should be doing. Now, if supercars went down to Trans Am, right, it could still be called V8 supercars and maybe go back to V8 supercars. And road relevancy, that's long gone, all right? We can forget about that. I know they're trying their best to keep it with Supras and Chevys and Mustangs, but let's be real, it's gone. Since Holden and Ford disappeared, it's gone. So I reckon we should do what NASCAR's doing, just have a body shell that is similar to the road car, and like Trans Am are doing now with the Chevy and Mustang and Dodge. I think it's fantastic. That's all we need. Okay? Gone are the days of watching a race car win a race and go buying the road version the next day. That's gone. That's gone now. So if supercars were go down to the Trans Am model, it'll be a lot cheaper. Maybe they can use Dunlop tyres still. Maybe they can switch to right-hand drive. Make it a bit more unique to their style. But it will be a lot cheaper than what they've got now, which means the grid sizes will increase. And even if you run the Trans Am there and also a Trans Am in Super 2 and Super 3, all of the young gun talents will get an actual fighting chance to be on the main stage. And we could even imagine going to Bathurst and having 50 V8s running on the mountain all at once for the 1000. That would be an absolutely incredible scene to watch. And it would be an event everyone would love. So I really hope supercars do end up going there. Now, the way they're going, it's really interesting. But I reckon the future is backwards to some extent. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I did go on a bit of a ramble, so hopefully this makes sense. So I do apologise if it doesn't. But yeah, overall, supercars, if they do end up going to the Trans Am, this could be a really good thing for the sport. Let the paddock be easily accessible for all fans. But basically, I want to bring, because the golden age of V8 supercars was the late 90s, early 2000s. I want to somehow bring that back to what it was. And it would be cool to have Trans Am's V8 supercars there. You get all the raw talent, and you get like Chaz Mostert, for example. He'll probably smash the park with that car. Will Brown will probably nail it as well. Brody Kostecki, we all know he'll just kill it. So if anything, it just gives more talent on the main stage. So it'll be really, really cool. And yeah, just give more fan engagement and turn it into a proper festival of V8 motorsport. And I think that will be fantastic. This has gone a bit of a rant, but That's just a little bit of opinions on my end. Let me know in the comments below what you think. It's more of a conversation starter because I'd love to hear your thoughts and talk about this. And do you prefer how they're going now? Would you like to see them have bigger grid sizes, more simpler cars? Yes, they're slower, but honestly, who cares if they produce more action? But yeah, let me know in the comments below your opinions and stay tuned for our future podcasts coming this week. Bye for now.